Good evening and welcome to Trending Tonight, the only show on primetime Indian television where we care to explain the news behind the trend. There are two such stories that we are tracking. Story number one, we know that the Supreme Court has said that the case must, the Sushant Singh Rajput case must now be probed by the CBI. But the big question, let's look ahead, enough into the past. Can the CBI deliver justice to Sushant? And we'll tell you why we are saying this. Story number two, we'll be speaking to the Bihar DGP where he will attempt to explain his Aukaat remark. The Aukaat explanation. He said in an utterance early this morning that Ria does not have the Aukaat to talk about the Bihar Chief Minister. Does this behoove of a DGP of a state? So we are going to speak to him in just a short moment from now. But now let's quickly come to the point that we were making. CBI and its track record has been not much to write home about as far as the high-profile cases are concerned. We'll run those graphics on the screen for you to see. Let me first introduce my guests this evening. We'll have lawyers representing both the sides here, lawyer from the Maharashtra government, representing the Maharashtra government, and then later the advocate representing Sushant Singh Rajput's father. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Singhvi is now with us. Dr. Singhvi, I want to know from you, many people call this unprecedented, that an FIR is filed in a state where this case was not originally from, but a CBI probe has now been recommended. First the state recommended and now the Supreme Court has said. Legally speaking, do you think that this matter ends here? The Supreme Court has settled this?
On the issue of jurisdiction, it does. Subject to a review petition, which is an option with the Maharashtra government. I cannot say whether they will file it or not, but that's an option. But subject to that, on jurisdictional issues, it ends. But let me very quickly add a few things, Sanket. I won't take long.
Sure.
I'm so happy that you are keeping it legal. I'm so happy that everybody is not discussing the merits as if they are judge, jury, executioner.
Correct.
Merits have not been decided. I also want to put on record that a Supreme Court judgment is binding on us and we all must bow down to it. The Maharashtra government's points have not succeeded. It was a respondent, not a petitioner. The petitioner has also not succeeded. Be that as it may, there are 3 or 4 significant legal errors which we are entitled to nevertheless analyze and discuss in a sober spirit. And whenever you give me time, I'll itemize them or highlight them.
Sure. Why don't you do that right now, Dr. Singhvi?
Okay, very briefly and without sounding legalistic and technical for your viewers. One is partly what you hinted, a startling result. The result is that, which is achieved in the result, is that if crime is local and everything happens within Maharashtra, now it's common ground that whether you murdered me or I committed suicide or somebody hit somebody or somebody did something, everything happened in Maharashtra. The strange result is that because of aggrieved complainant family members in Bihar, Bihar is given jurisdiction. This is one strange result. 2, this is arrived at by a race to file an FIR concept, which I think is erroneous. And I say it with deepest respect. I respect the judgment. It is binding on us. Why it is wrong is because if at all Mumbai police is guilty of something, Sanket, it is over meticulousness. It spent 2 months recording 56 statements given in a sealed cover to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court fortunately records a finding that there is nothing wrong with the Maharashtra investigation. That's very, very important. Nothing wrong. But then it proceeds to say that this is investigation. There is no formal FIR, as if FIR is the trigger, the be-all and end-all of everything. If there is no FIR, Bihar filed an FIR before. Therefore, Bihar gets jurisdiction. And another strange thing is that because one of the allegations, and they note this strange thing in para 29 and 30, is criminal breach of trust, namely money. And money beneficiaries could be in Patna. Therefore, Bihar has jurisdiction. Now, this can have long repercussions later. Forget this case. If a crime is committed in Kerala, J&K cannot get jurisdiction.
No, but then Dr. Singhvi, you yourself are saying that this jurisdiction issue has been settled by the Supreme Court. Do you think that it will have far-reaching consequences in other cases now and not just this?
No doubt that it can, probably will. This is the way the law operates. The law is sometimes rightly laid down, sometimes partially wrongly laid down. And it does have, because the case decides not the list between the parties. It decides future precedents for future cases. Now just take two examples. Even if you and I have a crime committed where you are the victim, I am the perpetrator, let us say hit and run or slapping or assault in Karnataka, and we both jointly agree we don't like Karnataka, and we travel to Mumbai and say we will file FIR in Mumbai, will that give Mumbai police jurisdiction? Everything to do with that case has happened in Karnataka.
But now, see,
Now,
that's exactly
this is
why,
a fundamental principle of criminal law. And
Dr.
one more
Singhvi,
thing.
that's exactly why now that the investigation will carry out, we've got Vikas Singh also with us, that issue of jurisdiction has now been settled. The matter is now with the CBI.
It has been settled. Maharashtra has lost. Partly the petitioner has lost. And therefore, I think it's important to note that in the other part of the error, which is important to note without getting too technical, the learned judge is entitled to transfer. He has not transferred it on a consent basis. As you know, you can transfer only if the state gives consent. This is a non-consensual transfer. Now, non-consensual transfer can only be in extraordinary circumstances, exceptional or sparingly rarest of rare times used. Learned judge was exercising power as a single judge. As you know, in Supreme Court, only two judges can sit. In a single judge, he was exercising power only, specifically by delegation, as a 406 power, which is to transfer from Bihar to Maharashtra or thereabouts. Now, what he has done is he has transferred to CBI on a finding recorded on a special exercise of power under the Constitution. Now, that may not be available jurisdictionally to learned single judge. One of my arguments rejected, but in passing.
Okay. All right, Dr. Singhvi, thank you so much for joining us. We've got Vikas Singh also with us. Mr. Singh, you heard what Dr. Singhvi had to say. He says that the jurisdiction issue has now been settled by the Supreme Court, but sadly, this could now set a new precedent in our country. See, we are going beyond this case because now it will be premature to speak about the Riya Sushant case. The investigation will happen, the CBI will do it. But the point is, will this set a dangerous precedent? I am in no means commenting on the Supreme Court's judgment. I am just asking you a question, your wisdom as a lawyer, please.
Well, Sanket, Dr. Singhvi is a dear friend and a colleague at the bar, but unfortunately he has not, read the CRPC properly, if you ask me my frank opinion. The CRPC, what the learned judge has done in this case is not laid out any new law. This is only a summation of what the law has already been laid down by the Supreme Court itself. Now, Dr. Singhvi completely misses the point that the Supreme Court has already ruled earlier that for one offence there can be only one FIR. So, it is not as if there will be in every case two different FIRs in two different places. The law is that the first FIR will be only investigated. So, supposing, let me assume there is another FIR. The learned judge in this case has even, taken care of the second FIR, but really speaking, he did not have. Because the second FIR, when it is filed, has to be quashed because it is only the first FIR which has to be investigated. Now, as far as the jurisdiction is concerned, under the CRPC, the judgments have been cited in which the learned judge has very rightly noticed that there is a jurisdictional issue qua the place of crime, definitely, that is one. But the second is that where part of cause of action arises. Now, those are classic cases, Sanket, like for instance in the dowry matters or in matrimonial matters, when the lady suffers the consequences at the matrimonial home in one place and goes and settles down somewhere else and files a case at that other place. So, Supreme Court has already ruled that the other place also will have jurisdiction. Now, the third category of cases are where you suffer the consequences. Now, in this case, the Supreme Court has taken that plea also far has been accepted, that the consequences of this crime are suffered at Patna. And for that also there was a direct precedence. There was a case which had, the crime had been committed completely outside the jurisdiction of Ghaziabad. And the Ghaziabad court took cognizance and Supreme Court said that the money was to be paid here. And that is why Ghaziabad court will have jurisdiction. And lastly, Dr. Singhvi again, I think, has not read the constitution. Article 142, when it talks of in exercise of jurisdiction, the jurisdiction will be determined by the Supreme Court rules. So, for instance, if a particular matter can go before a single judge by the rules, because this rule has been amended recently, transfer can go to a single judge, then that is the exercise of jurisdiction.
Sure.
If the Supreme Court rule says that certain matters will go only to 5 judges, then that is the exercise of jurisdiction by the 5 judges.
Sure.
So, whenever a judge or a number of judges are exercising jurisdiction under the Supreme Court rules, they can exercise 142, because in exercise of jurisdiction you can use the inherent power.
Correct.
And that is what, and for that also there was a judgment which we referred and which has been accepted by the
Okay,
Supreme Court. So
I
all
wish
counts,
Dr.
I don't
Singhvi
know
was around to be able
what
to answer.
apprehension he's saying.
I wish Dr. Singhvi was around to be able to answer
this law is already well settled.
this explanation that you have given. But Mr. Singh, I want to ask you this question.
You can ask him. You can
I'll ask him
some
separate.
other.
Yeah. I
Yes,
want to
sir.
ask you, Mr. Singh, that now, see, you're representing Sushant Singh Rajput's father in this particular case. You're assisting him in this legal process. I want to ask you the steps forward. As we are saying, you know, as a responsible channel, not into guesswork, I'm not going to ask you questions on conjecture. That's not my case. This is an important story, but it has to be understood legally. What are the legal options available? So I want to ask you, Mr. Singh, will the CBI probe any new FIR if filed in terms of jurisdiction? Now, anything and everything related to the Sushant Singh Rajput case, even say for instance, there is an FIR filed in another state. Will this all be under the jurisdiction of CBI? I'm asking you this question because we've already seen multi-agency probe in this case. Extremely confusing probe.
Well, Sanket, purely again as a legal answer to what you are raising, the only caveat that the Supreme Court has done is that if there is another FIR relating to the death of Sushant Singh Rajput, that's very important. Only that will go also to the CBI. So, as of today, according to me, as I told you, this question was not argued, was not necessary to be argued. According to me, there was no need, because under the judgment of the Supreme Court in TT Anthony, it is only the first FIR which needs to be investigated. If there is a subsequent FIR, that itself has to be quashed. But here the Honorable Judge has taken an extra precaution. He said, all right, even if there is a second FIR registered, supposing, for instance, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
And just consider this as an example. I'm not trying to suggest anything.
Sure.
Supposing tomorrow there is an FIR with regard to Disha Salyan's death, and the FIR says that she was killed because of Sushant, she has leaked something to the Sushant Singh Rajput about whatever is going around
Sure.
in the social media.
Sure.
Now, if there is an FIR of that kind which clearly relates her death to Sushant Singh Rajput, then that FIR also will go to the CBI. So, that is what I understand the judgment of the Supreme Court to be, because according to me, for the Sushant Singh Rajput death itself, there can't be a second FIR.
So, you're saying
so
that
this is
anything
how
related
that
to
other
the
FIR
death probe that the CBI will do, then in that case,
Yes.
where are we left as far as the probe of the Enforcement Directorate is concerned? Because they are not probing death, they are probing financial bungling. Does that continue?
No. So, Sanket, whenever there is a ED case, I'll just explain what is the jurisdiction of the ED. ED comes in only whenever there is a predicate offence. So, for instance, there are certain offences mentioned in the PMLA Act. If an FIR is registered on any of those sections, then the ED has a right to step in any of those cases. Now, in this case, the ED has taken a call to step in. Now, the ED will look at only a very limited aspect which, not really speaking, doesn't fall in the jurisdiction of the CBI.
Sure.
That is, that whatever money that RIA may have, illegally extracted out of by criminal breach of trust from Sushant,
Okay.
that money will be considered as laundered money. And
Okay.
if that money is laundered money, then wherever it is invested, that property will be under attachment. And ultimately, if the ED process goes and she is not able to justify that money from her own legitimate source, then that property will be forfeited.
Very quickly, my final question to you. I heard you saying this in some other television station, that you want RIA arrested. Why, Mr. Singh? Why can the due process of the law not be followed? Why would a Vikas Singh say arrest now, and not follow the process of the law?
So Sanket, the process of the law in this country is that a arrest can take place at the complete discretion of the police immediately upon the registration of an FIR, or if the police wants to further investigate, then after the further investigation. In my view, this is a case where the police in its discretion should have immediately arrested Ria and the people who are at the home, because that is not something which is laying down any new law. That is not violating the due process. The due process, I'll be very happy, Sanket, just to add one more thing. I'll be very happy, Sanket, if the law had been, because very many times we are representing the accused. I would be very happy if there is a law declared in this country that no arrest will take place on the registration of an FIR, and arrest will only take up after an inquiry.
Okay.
That is not the law in this country.
Okay.
The law is that the discretion is with the police whenever the offence is
Well,
beyond a certain...
for the moment, Mr. Singh, a
can be
CBI probe
completely-
has
the
in
police
fact
can-
been ordered in this case, and the CBI must carry out its investigation. And I hope that the CBI does not fall into the trap of its very checkered past as far as dealing with high-profile cases are concerned. I've got a huge list of what the CBI's own track record has been. It's been terrible as far as dealing with these high-profile cases is concerned. But thank you so much, Vikas Singh, for joining us.